Right, so a heavyweight fighter that I like a lot, as a lot of you guys know, will be Adam KOWNACKI, and he will be taking on GERALD Washington in New York, Brooklyn, at the Barclays Center on the 26th of January. And this will be on the Keith Thurman comeback fight versus Josesito Lopez. Not a great headliner, but considering the amount of time that Keith Thurman's been out of the ring, not a bad comeback and almost a predictable opponent in the sense of a guy who's got multiple losses on his record and is of Hispanic descent, right? That's what Keith Thurman likes to do. He likes to fight these kind of guys. But anyway, Adam KOWNACKI will take on GERALD Washington. And Adam KOWNACKI, currently 18-0. GERALD Washington, 19 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Now, his 2 losses were against Deontay Wilder in a fight that he should never have been in to start with. It was way too early in his career to be getting a world title shot, but this is typical Wilder, right? But his other one was against Big Baby Jarrell Miller, who's of course the stablemate and best friend of Adam KOWNACKI, where Big Baby Jarrell Miller just bullied him virtually the entire fight. And I'll pretty much expect the same thing from Adam KOWNACKI, as Adam KOWNACKI, Jarrell Miller, because they're sparring together all the time. They have very similar kind of styles. They're both big men. Although Adam KOWNACKI, he seems to have lost a lot of weight lately and has put on a bit of muscle mass now. He's looking a hell of a lot trimmer, which is great stuff. But anyway, so Washington, he had back-to-back defeats. Deontay Wilder, then Big Baby Jarrell Miller. His last fight he did win, but he won on points against John Wesley No Fire. So I do expect Adam KOWNACKI to win this one. And I kind of expect him to stop GERALD Washington. Late stoppage, I think. Now, Adam KOWNACKI, his last fight, of course, was against Charles Martin in a very, very good fight. And for whatever reason, a lot of people will criticise me because I said it was a very good fight. No, it was a very, very good fight. It's definitely a heavyweight fight of the year contender. Without doubt, in my opinion, it was an absolute war, and both of these guys did themselves a hell of a lot of justice. Adam KOWNACKI is really, really proving to be the real deal. I mean, he has wins over his fellow countryman in Arthur Spilka. Arthur Spilka, of course, he went 9 rounds with Deontay Wilder and was beating up Wilder for 8 of those rounds, well, in fact, all 9 rounds until he got clipped and got badly knocked out. And then Adam KOWNACKI, he took on Arthur Spilka and stopped him in 4 rounds. Now, KOWNACKI, he is Polish, but he's American as well, of American citizenship. So he's flying the flag for both. And as I said, his last fight with Charles Martin was an absolute war. I absolutely loved that fight. And before then, Igor Kaladze, where he stopped him in 6 rounds. Of course, Kaladze was Joe Joyce's last opponent as well. So he's moving in the right direction. He's one of those kind of fighters that when Big Baby Jarrell Miller, he joined DAZN and Eddie Hearn, I kind of wanted Adam KOWNACKI to go with him. I'm not too sure why it didn't happen. Maybe KOWNACKI never got an offer, which would surprise me, to be perfectly honest. I think KOWNACKI, he's got a massive, massive Polish following, and of course a lot of Americans as well as. And this fight is a good, decent step up for him. It's his 19th fight, undefeated. And GERALD Washington, he's not journeyman, but I think he's journeyman material. He's got a very good jab. Outside of that, not too much. Not exactly the biggest power puncher in the world. Out of his 19 victories, he's only stopped 12. So not the biggest puncher in the world, and he is aging a bit in the fact that he's 36 years old. But before then, wasn't he a footballer? A college football player or something like that? I'm not too sure. So boxing hasn't really been part of his life since a kid, if you like. He hasn't come through the amateur system and all that kind of thing. So you wouldn't really expect too much of him. But Adam KOWNACKI is a fantastic fighter. He lets his hands go. He has the punch output, much like Big Baby Jarrell Miller, much like Andy Ruiz Jr. And he will throw 60 to 80 punches per round. That's how good Adam KOWNACKI is, and doesn't really seem to tire. I mean, he's getting tired a little bit against Charles Martin. I mean, I can't deny that one. But Charles Martin hits hard, and Charles Martin is underrated because he come over and quit in front of a live audience when he fought Anthony Joshua. A lot of people look down on Charles Martin, but Charles Martin is actually pretty decent. So anyway, that was a very good victory for him. And now Adam KOWNACKI will take on GERALD Washington. And as I said, this will be on the Keith Thurman undercard on January the 26th in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. You drop your thoughts about it, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.